What up, it's Chris from Laser Lemming, and today, let's talk about Nintendo, let's talk about the Wii U, and the success or lack thereof. Because the Wii U is not doing so well, hasn't been doing so well for the last few years. In fact, there's a new console, the NX, coming from Nintendo, early next year. They say March, who knows when. But, let's talk about some history here, because Kimishima, the president of Nintendo, recently spoke on the Wii U and the lack of sales, because Nintendo believed that the Wii U would do a lot better than it did. They believed, according to Kimishima, they had projected, somebody at Nintendo projected that the Wii U would sell as much as 100 million consoles worldwide. Why did they believe that? Because the Wii was so successful. Because the Wii was the biggest breakout of forever. Now, remember when the Wii came out in 2006, this was before everybody had a smartphone, before games were free with ads and microtransactions galore. The Wii was a novelty. It was brand new. Nobody had ever seen a system with a controller that looked like, a remote, something you could hold. It was very friendly. Nintendo understood that. They did have some foresight. Whether you liked the Wii or not, they really understood that if you saw a controller that looked just like a slender little controller, you'd be less intimidated to pick it up. Now, people like me and you, we have no problem picking up something like this because that looks fun to us. We want to play with these buttons and joysticks, but a lot of people who haven't played games before 2006 didn't want to do it. Too many buttons, too much going on. Not fun, not for me. Now, the Wii was a huge success. Wii U, not so much. This controller right here, not so much. Now, Nintendo tried to bring something new and novel again with the Wii U. Big tablet controller screen with a camera on it. It had the kitchen sink in it. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out. Now, among the core gamer group, who also bought the Wii, mind you, a lot of people who owned PlayStation 3s and Xbox 360s also owned a Wii. It was the perfect secondary system because not only did it have a lot of good games on it, but it had games that your mom wanted to play, your dad wanted to play, your brother, sister, your mama, uncle, aunt, cousins, etc. wanted to play. Now, because it was the most popular secondary console, it ended up being the most popular console. And that gave Nintendo a big head. This is a big problem in the industry, not just with Nintendo. Anybody at number one in this industry gets a huge fruitin' head. Microsoft did with the 360, Sony currently has with the PS4, and they had with the PlayStation 2. Every single time you're at the top, you tend to go down the next generation. Nintendo, SNES, they weren't killing it. N64, not so much. Sony with the PlayStation 2, they were killing it. PlayStation 3, not so much. Microsoft with the 360, killing it. Xbox One, not so much. Now, the Wii was the top dog during last gen. Now, the 360 really did well, and so did the PlayStation 3 in its own respects, but nobody topped the Wii. And that gave Nintendo an ego. And it always happens. These companies always forget. They never remember where they came from, Nintendo included. Because, during the GameCube era, they were struggling, but Wii era, everything's gravy. So, during the Wii U era, they thought things were going to just keep on being gravy. Not so much. As you might have seen, the Wii U is still $300. Xbox One is now like $280. So, there's a whole reason why the Wii U doesn't go down in price, and it's mostly because of this bad boy. It costs more to make than the system, I believe. It costs a lot of money to make this controller. But, yeah, it's not happening. The Wii U is not going to become an overnight success near the end of its life. Even if people are stoked over Breath of the Wild, that's the new Zelda game, even if people are over the moon for that game, most of the sales will end up on the NX if the NX is a system that gamers are interested in. Xbox 360, people were interested in it. PlayStation 4, people were interested in it. NX, Who knows? We really still have no solid foundation of what the NX is. There's rumors that it's going to have cartridges. There's rumors that it's going to be a handheld or a console or a hybrid or both that you can just play the same games on. Who really knows? Nintendo is doing very good at keeping this a secret. Too good, because third parties, many of them, most of them, still don't know what the NX really is. Now, Breath of the Wild, new Zelda game, which looks beautiful on the Wii U, is also announced for the NX. Now, if that game is also playable on a handheld, it's probably going to be downgraded graphically. If it's playable on a console, we would hope that it would be upgraded graphically. But the way Nintendo rolls, you really don't know. Anyway, the point of this video was to talk about just egos, like what Nintendo had. Now, Kimishima said he was trying to be the voice of reason without talking too negatively about Nintendo and the Wii U, because he really wanted people to know or ask themselves, what are we bringing to the table to make this a system worth selling 100 million units? Because the Wii U cost more than the Wii did. The Wii, at that point of release in 2006, was the most expensive system Nintendo had ever released. It was unprecedented for Nintendo to release a system that cost more than $200. So we launched at $250. The Wii U launched at $300 and $350 respectively for the two different SKUs. Even though that was less than any model of the PlayStation 4 at launch or the Xbox One at launch, didn't matter. Didn't matter because what they brought to the table didn't work. Didn't gel for third parties, and Nintendo was split between their 3DS developers and their console developers, and they weren't ready for the HD generation. Even though they had years to learn and prepare for it, they didn't. They didn't learn. Now, everybody learns a little bit, so hopefully Nintendo has figured it out more than ever. I mean, the Wii U did have a slicker presentation than the Wii did by far. If you ever remember downloading a game from the Wii shop, man, what a pain. I mean, like, it was cute seeing Mario run and jump on the box, going through the coins during a download the first time. Every other time, it just showed a lack of polish, a lack of foresight. Wii U, the music gets a little grating too, but man, is it a much slicker system. And I'm hoping the NX just kicks ass. But those are my thoughts, my straight, very focused, narrow thoughts on egos in the industry. And don't think it can't happen again to Sony or Microsoft. Things are just changing with these iterative consoles, the Scorpio, the Neo, the NX. Who knows where things are going? Let me know your thoughts on this, and let me know your thoughts on the guys in first place and the guys in second place. I think it's often best to root for the guy in second place, or to buy the console of the guy in second, maybe a close second, because they're struggling, they're fighting just hard enough to win you back. Guys in third are really just trying to keep their head above water, like Nintendo was with the Wii U. So let me know your thoughts, comment section below, subscribe for more if you haven't already. Check out upandloaded.com. My site's got comedy, gaming, news, reviews, whatever. It's also got a Facebook page. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe for more good times. I'll see you next time.